So a while back I did a video on the JessEm Doweling Jig Master Kit. In response to that video, I received some comments and a few emails about the new stainless steel JessEm Doweling Jig. People want to know how these two jigs stack up against each other. I have quite a bit of experience using the original Master Kit, and I just got in the stainless steel version of JessEm's Doweling Jig. So I'm going to open this up and check it out. I'll do a few simple joints with it, and I'll see how using it compares with using the original Master Kit. If that's something you think you'd be interested in, stick around. Before I open the box, I want to go over some numbers really quick. If you've been shopping for a high-end Doweling jig, most likely you're looking at either JessEm or Dowel Max, and you know these tools are not cheap. I looked up my Amazon purchase from a few years ago for my Master Kit, and I paid $207. If you buy that kit today, you're going to spend anywhere between $240 to $250, and you're going to have taxes and possibly shipping on top of that. The price of the new stainless steel professional kit, considering the cost of the Master Kit or the Dowel Max, is pretty amazing. Just today, this is early January 2024, I found this kit on several websites for right at $170. I think I got pretty lucky. I picked my kit up a few weeks ago from Acme Tools online. They were on sale and I had a coupon with them. So shipped to my door, I paid $153 for this kit. One thing that's cool about this new stainless steel kit is they have a 45-degree fence available, so you can put dowels in a miter joint. That's something you couldn't do with the Master Kit, or it would have been very difficult to do. A lot of people complained about that. JessEm listened to their customers, and they came up with a way of doing it with this new stainless steel kit. And while I think I got a great deal on the kit itself, on that 45-degree fence, not so much. The best price I found for it was on Amazon, and it was just under $45 delivered to my door. I thought that was overpriced, but I really wanted to get it so I could try it out. So just to be clear, the stainless steel professional doweling kit does not come with that 45-degree fence, nor does it come with bits or stop collars. The original Master Kit came with 3 different sizes bits with stop collars, which is very nice, but let's be honest, if you're buying something like this, chances are you have drill bits and you probably have stop collars as well. But if you don't have those and you need to provide some so you can use this jig, that can be done for 10 to 20 bucks. So if you want to go all in at today's prices, again, this is January 2024, and you wanted to get the professional kit, the 45-degree fence, and you had to provide your own drill bits and stop collars, you can do all that in the neighborhood of $225. All right, so let's open up the box, check out the components inside, and get a first impression of the build quality of this jig. If you're enjoying this video so far and you're finding the information useful, do me a favor and give the video a thumbs up, post a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you get notified when new videos come out. All those things are free to you, and they really help the channel out. Thanks. All right, we're going to get this opened up. First, I want to start with this little 45-degree angle piece. So it comes with the mounting bracket and then a couple of screws. They're stainless steel for mounting the mounting bracket. There's a warranty card in the box, and then the plate itself. And I'm pretty sure that this is just like the 90-degree plate. It's just bent out of 45 instead. All right, guys, here's the box that the kit comes in. Again, I got the professional doweling kit. This comes in a couple different iterations. I think there's another one called the Weekend Hobbyist or something like that. And you get the 3 dowel sizes, but you only get one of the base plates, the 90-degree plates. With the professional kit, each set of guide bushings comes with its own 90-degree fence, so there's no swapping things around. So if we open this up, we have right here, this is the mounting plate. You mount this to the wall and you can store your guide pins and your drill bits and the jig for each size of dowel. And then each jig comes in its own box. So there's the 1/4-inch jig, and then in the box with the 3/8 drill guide are the indexing pins and then a couple of screws to mount this wall bracket. And then last but not least is the 1/2-inch drill guide. And of course there is a user's manual with a warranty card and some simple instructions on how to use the jig and some examples of different joints you can make. I'm going to have to find some place to mount this because I'm running out of wall space in my small shop here. All right, guys, I have both of the jigs side by side. And as you can see, they have a very similar design to them. They both have this 90-degree fence that you put against the material. And then you loosen a thumb screw, and this whole plate moves to adjust where the dowels are going to be placed in your piece of wood. But there are a few differences, and let me go over those real quick. First of all, if I wanted to change the dowel size in this jig, I have to turn it over, use an Allen key to take out 2 screws, and this whole silver piece gets replaced with a different size bushing. And then I just replace those screws, tighten it up, and I'm ready to go. With the new stainless steel jig, if I didn't want this size dowel, I just set this aside, and I bring in the size I want, and I'm ready to go. There's no screws to mess with. There's nothing to swap out. It's just a matter of grabbing the correct size jig. Now, of course, at some point, you're going to have to adjust this jig while you're using it. To do that on the old jig, you just loosen this thumb screw. You adjust it where you want it. Let's say I wanted it at 1 inch. Put it right there. Tighten it down. And you probably heard where that kind of clicked in. If you look at the back, there's these positive stops. And there's one positive stop every 1/8 of an inch. On the new jig, there's 2 thumb screws. One is to loosen up the plate, and one is for the positive stops. So if I want to adjust this to 1 inch, I just back this off, and then I loosen this. I line up the 1 with the 0, and then I tighten down the positive stop, which locks it in place, and then this locks it down even further. What I like about this jig is you can make adjustments in 1/16 of an inch increments while you're stuck to 1/8 of an inch increments in the old jig. Now, both jigs have markings on them that tell you the distance from the end of the jig to the center of the dowel. It's 2 inches on the old model and 1 3/4 inches on this newer model. They also have markings that tell you the distance from the edge of the guide to the center of the first dowel, and then the distance between the centers of each dowel after that. And all those markings are very helpful for laying out certain types of joinery. As far as layout and alignment goes, one addition they made to this new jig are these little notches for center marks. You can see there's one right there in the center. They have them here on the edges. And then when you're lining up your material on the fence side, there's a notch right there. Hope you can see that. That shows the center of the entire jig. And then it has this little cutout. If you're lining up a line, a center line, you can see the line on both sides of this and get it perfectly aligned in the middle. Now, the older style jig doesn't have any marks up here to indicate the center of the dowels, but it does have a center line mark on the bottom, which is nice. But the addition of this little kind of sight window here to see your line is really nice. That's a really clever addition, and I think that's going to be super useful. So as I've been going through these things, I've been keeping score, and I'm telling you, it's not looking good for the old Master Kit. It's a beautifully engineered and well-built tool, and I've never had any problems using it, but this new stainless steel version is just a step above, it seems, in every category. First, let's talk about storage, and keep in mind, I'm comparing the professional version stainless steel kit to the Master Kit in the old version. One of the complaints I've heard a lot about the Master Kit is that there's no storage. You get this beautifully engineered machine tool and there's nothing to keep it in. There's just a bunch of parts in a box. Now, I designed and I built my own storage system for the Master Kit. I did a video on that. You can check that out right up here. But you compare that to the new stainless steel version and it comes with a mounting bracket. And even the 45-degree plate came with its own mounting bracket. So for storage, the new version gets a check mark. Next, we talk about the cost of each of these jigs. I think the stainless steel version is a clear winner. If you get the professional kit and you add on the 45-degree plate and you add on having to buy your own bits and stop collars, you're still under the cost of the old Master Kit. So as far as price goes, that's another win for the stainless steel professional kit. And now talking about ease of use and swapping from one size dowel to another. Again, the stainless steel jig has to get the win here. For the Master Kit, if you want to swap sizes, like I said earlier, you got to pull 2 screws, swap out this portion here, and then put those screws back in. It's not a super big deal, but when compared to the stainless steel kit, where you have to do nothing at all. You just grab the correct size jig. It's just a step that this jig doesn't need that the old jig does. Another aspect of use is adjusting for drilling distance. They're both super easy. You just loosen the thumb screw, make your adjustment, tighten it down. But the new jig, you can adjust in 1/16 of an inch increments, while the old jig, it's 1/8 inch. So you get twice the adjustment in the new jig as opposed to the old jig. So I'm going to give the adjustment nod to the stainless steel jig just because I can adjust it in those 1/16 of an inch increments. And then lastly, on use, before I get to actually using this, is alignment. Both jigs have the slot for using the alignment pins. They annotate all your distances on the face of the jig, but the fact that the stainless steel jig adds these little centering notches for the dowels themselves, and they've improved the way you get a centerline reference on the fence. For alignment, I have to give the nod again to the stainless steel jig. All right, guys, the overview is all done. The new jig is looking like a winner, but now it's time to put it to the test. So I'm gonna grab a couple pieces of wood, do a few joints that are commonly done with dowels, and we'll see how this thing actually performs. So as you saw there, I quickly made a few joints with this new jig just to get a feel for it and see how it works. Some of the joints I was familiar with, and then one I was not familiar with. I did an edge glue up. It was very quick and easy, just like with the old jig. I did this joint here. This is representing a table leg with a skirt board that's inset a little bit. Again, this went together really smooth, really easy. I did this miter joint like what you would use for making a picture frame or something like that. Again, really easy, really accurate. And this joint was new to me because the old jig isn't really capable of doing a joint like this. It's a long miter for making a table leg or a waterfall edge on a table, something like that. And you can see it went together just really nice. I mean, the joint there is just perfect. And it was pretty easy to do with this new 45-degree attachment. So using this new stainless steel jig was really similar to the old style jig as far as using the alignment slot and how you line everything up. This does add a couple little notches for alignment, which did come in handy. And using this 45-degree plate to make this long miter was intuitive, simple, and really no problem at all. So I've had this jig for a few years. I've used it a lot. I really love it. And I'm almost sad to say that this new version is beating it in every category. So I had to come up with something to give this old jig a win, and I will say it's a lot prettier than the new jig. Every edge has a nice slight round over or chamfer to it. Everything fits just perfect. It really is engineered very well and made extremely well, and it's nice to look at and it's nice to hold. The new jig looks to be either laser cut or water jetted or something, somehow cut out of a sheet of stainless steel. Then it has an anodized coating put on it, and then in some jig these angles are just bent. This manufacturing process, I'm sure, is a lot quicker and easier than the manufacturing process for this. That probably is one of the ways they got the cost down. And while I didn't have any problems using this, the edges and the corners are just a little sharper and crisper than this one, so it's not quite as pleasant to hold in your hand and use. But other than that, if we go to my scorecard here, we compare the storage. New comes with storage, the old one doesn't. As far as price, the new jig is less expensive, even adding in buying your own bits and adding on this 45-degree plate. It still comes in for less money than the old master kit. For swapping sizes, there's nothing to do with this. You just grab the correct size jig. With this one, you got to take some screws out and swap out the piece here. So that's another win for the new jig. As far as adjustment, it's pretty much a wash as far as doing it, but the new jig allows adjustments in 1/16 of an inch increments, whereas the old jig is 1/8 inch. So you get twice the adjustment in the new jig. So I got to give adjustment to the new jig. I sure am saying jig a lot. As for alignment, I initially gave it to the new one, but I put a little question mark by it, and I wanted to kind of revisit this after I used it. The alignment is quick and easy, just like the old master kit, and these extra alignment aids that this one comes with did come in handy. So alignment also I have to give to the new stainless steel jig. So that's my rundown of the two JessEm Doweling jigs. If I was in the market today for a Doweling jig, what would I spend my money on? It would have to be the new version in stainless steel. It's just as easy to use and as accurate as the old jig, but it throws in a couple extra features, and it does all that for less money. So you really have to hand it to the JessEm engineers. They took a fantastic product, they made it a little bit better and a little bit less expensive, and that's a win for you and me. So if you have any questions or comments on either of these two jigs, be sure and post those down below. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell so you get notified when new videos come out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.